Okay, so now let's learn a very important concept, that is the volatile keyword. It's also used in singleton pattern, and it's not a very easy concept to grasp and very few people know about it, right? So if you're a fresher, you're watching this video, I can assure you that there's something you can learn and brag about your classmates, because very few people will actually know about this. And this is not a very hard concept to grasp. However, it is not very easy to figure out that where to use this particular keyword, okay? But I will try my best to let you guys understand this keyword. So volatile is a keyword in Java. And now let's see when does its usage can actually come into play. So suppose there are two threads, right? And what happens is a thread interacts with your CPU, right? And the CPU in turn interacts with the main memory or the RAM. Now let us introduce our friend cache, which basically helps us in reducing the access time. So we know that it is far more efficient for a CPU to access data from the cache than for the CPU to access data from the main memory, right? And that's why cache comes into picture, because it gives you fast data access time. So what happens ideally is whenever there is a shared variable that exists in the memory. When I say shared variable, you can consider the top of the stack, right, which we saw in the previous example, right? And that is a shared variable because because that variable exists in the main memory, and multiple threads are actually trying to access that variable and work on it and maybe update it, or whatever it wants to do with that particular shared variable. So let's consider here we have a shared variable which is a boolean flag variable, and initially it is set to true. Okay, so now what happens is this thread, both these threads, they don't directly read from the memory. They have their own cache, and they read, all these threads read the value of this flag variable locally from their cache. Now the problem that might happen is, if let's say thread 2 changes the value of this flag to false, it won't directly update it into the RAM. It would first update in its local cache, right? So you can see here it updates the flag variable to false, but the other thread still can see the value of the thread as true because it is not updated in its local cache, as well as in the main memory it is still true. Now next step, it will take some time for this value of the cache to be propagated to the main memory as false, because there was an updation that was being done by thread 2. But you can see the thread 1 still doesn't have any visibility that hey, this flag is actually changed to false. In order to get rid of this problem, we introduce the volatile keyword. So if we declare the same variable as volatile, that is volatile boolean flag equals to true, now what happens is these threads no longer read it from the cache or from the local copy, they directly read it from the main memory. As a result, if the thread 2 changes, this flag to false, the thread 1 will have access to it, right? Just in case where let's say there is the status, right? There's a status flag that is constantly getting updated by multiple threads, and based on the status flags, the other threads are doing some work, right? I mean, the condition of that status flag will actually direct that how the threads will behave. And it's very important for all the threads to have a consistent state of that particular flag variable. I will give you an example. If you remember my singleton pattern video, if you haven't checked out my singleton design pattern video, I will highly recommend you to go and check out that video, but I will just give you a brief. Okay, so now let's take a look at the singleton class, that is the TV set, which we created while I was recording my singleton design pattern video. So here what happens is, what does a singleton design pattern say? I will just briefly tell you. So in a singleton design pattern, you can create only one object of that particular class, right? So we have to design the class in such a way, okay, so that only one object can be created for that particular class. So what we do is we maintain a static variable of the instance, right? And initially we set this to null, right? Because let's say that when there is no object created, the instance is null, right? And we declare a private constructor. We create a private constructor because we don't want any other client to instantiate this class from outside, okay? So what if any client wants to instantiate this particular class, right? So for that we create a static method, right? Now why do we make this constructor private? Why do we make a static method of get instance? All this I've covered in depth in that singleton design pattern video, and I'm not going to cover that in such depth, but for now just want to say that basically we don't expose our constructor, we expose this static method, which basically checks that okay, whatever this instance, if this is null, that means no object has been created for this particular class. In that case, we go ahead and we create an instance of this particular class, and we, before returning that instance to our client, we store it. We update this reference variable to the new instance that we just created. And so the next time if some other client wants to again instantiate by calling this get TV instance object, what we do is we return this particular instance, and we don't go and create another instance, right? As you can see, only if it is null, only if this instance is null, then only we create a new TV set. Otherwise we return, otherwise we don't create any new TV set, and we just return the same old instance. In that way we ensure that only one instance of this object is always created, right? Like again, why this is synchronized, why this is like why we are having two checks, right? All these things which you call double check blocking and all these things, I've covered that in the Singleton design pattern video, so it is highly recommended you go and check out the video after you have watched this multi-threading videos. But here you can see that there is a flag, right? There is a flag, that is this TV set instance. This TV set instance is acting as a flag, right? Why this is acting as a flag is, it says that okay, if this reference is null, then create an object, otherwise don't create an object, return that same object. So it is kind of acting as a flag, right? That particular variable, the state of that particular variable defines like the following operations, right? So now let's say in a multi-threaded environment, multiple threads are trying to access this class, and let's say one of the threads get access to this class, and it updates this TV set instance. Let's say first thread comes in and it checks that okay, this TV set instance is null, then let me create a new TV set instance and let me return it. Now let's say this first thread has created this new TV set instance, and it has updated its value, and it has returned it, right? Now if we go back here, you see that what this thread did, it updated the TV set instance value in its local cache, but it is not yet propagated to the main memory. And let's say next it is propagated to the main memory, but it is still not propagated to the other thread's cache. So the other thread, this other thread now wants to create a new instance, it will find in its local cache that hey, this TV set instance value is still null, and as a result what it will do is it will again go and create a new object. So now there are two objects being created, which kind of violates the Singleton design pattern principle, which says that only one instance of this particular class can be created. And that is the reason I want this flag instance variable to be directly updated in the main memory and directly read by the thread from the main memory, and that is the reason we declare it volatile. I've also explained in that video as well, but this is more an extensive explanation on volatile keyword. So I hope you're able to grasp this concept, because it's a very important concept. It's not very easy to understand and where to use volatile in all of the cases, so that might require a lot of design discussions and profiling. But yeah, that's mostly about volatile.